Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging headfirst into a world where every interaction, every move, every single twist can just redefine everything. You might wonder how much drama, how much storytelling can you possibly cram into just 2 nights? Well, we're about to find out. We're taking a deep dive into 2 really action-packed nights from the World Wrestling Alliance, specifically WWA Weekend Night 1, European Uprising Preview, and WWA Weekend Night 2, Wrestling's Fiercest Battles.
Yeah, and our mission today basically is to unpack the biggest matches, the shocking twists, and all those crucial storylines. They really set the stage meticulously for European Uprising 3. And this wasn't just about wins and losses, right? It was about deep character development, building these really intense personal rivalries. Absolutely. And it's huge because, the WWA has come such a long way so quickly in almost 3 years now. So these preview nights, they feel massive for where the company's heading, especially with a big event coming up. Okay, let's unpack this. So night 1, the European Uprising Preview. It kicked off with Glenn and Diesel, setting the scene, thanking the fans, really building that buzz for European Uprising 3.
Right, you could feel it. And that opener, Riho versus Camille, what's really insightful there is how it just established Camille's dominance. Riho showed incredible heart, kicking out of that first spear, almost stealing it with that German suplex and moonsault combo.
Yeah, that was a close near fall.
Super close. But Camille's strength, her recovery with that rolling fireman's carry, and then the second spear, it was decisive. 10 minutes. It just positioned Camille as this, almost unstoppable force heading into the big show.
And from that intensity, we got thrown right into Tommy Dreamer's Special Hardcore Open Challenge. Just wild and crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And who answers? Blue Cane with Paul Bearer. And Blue Cane looked different too, right? That altered blue and black gear.
Yeah, unique look. And this match, just pure chaos from the bell. Blue Cane didn't waste any time. Hard chair shot, Dreamer's busted open. Then he brings out the baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, makes him bleed even more. The whole thing spills out into the fans. Just brutal.
But Dreamer, he fights back. Hits the DDT, the Dreamer driver, even gets in 3 chair shots.
And Blue Cane just eats them, doesn't go down. Showcasing this, incredible toughness.
The tension was just ratcheting up. Dreamer goes for a pile driver. Blue Cane counters. Boots a stop sign right into Dreamer's face. Then the falling glacier power bomb. Looked like it could be over right there. Near fall.
But Dreamer keeps coming back. Superplexes Blue Cane. Then he gets that barbed wire bat, goes after Blue Cane's arm, draws blood, another DDT. Then he sets up a table, gets the thumbtacks out. You think this is it. But Paul Bearer steps in, gives Blue Cane the blue urn.
Bam. Hits Dreamer in the head with it.
And then Blue Cane pours ice cubes onto the table, small frozen ice cubes, and chokeslams Dreamer through it all. Just vicious.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Just when you think it's done, Mortis, out of nowhere, hits the cryonic kick on Blue Cane, then smacks him with a blue steel pile and just vanishes, runs off.
Totally unexpected. And that interference, that slight distraction, it allowed Dreamer, bloody and battered as he was, to hit a second Dreamer driver right into the thumbtacks. And Dreamer gets the win. Hard fought, sure, but kind of controversial with that ending. What a twist.
What a twist indeed. So next up, the women's tag match. Mandy Rose and Fallon Henley taking on Penelope Ford and Annie J. Fallon Henley got the pin for her team in the end.
Yeah, but the real story was after the match. Annie J just jumps Mandy Rose, tries to lock in the Queenslayer, then the lights go red. You hear Jezebel's voice warning Annie J her fate at European Uprising 3 won't be any different than Brooke Hogan's. Creepy stuff.
Very creepy. And then Caden Carter shows up.
Right. Lights come back. Caden's there. Gives Anna Jay a bit of a beatdown. Throws her out. Then helps Mandy up. They show respect. It's like you see this shift happening. New alliances forming, maybe. Definitely setting up future conflict.
Interesting. Then we had Hollywood Hogan versus Randy Savage. And what was weird here, Hogan's doing all his usual heel stuff, taunting, mocking. But some fans were actually cheering him. It's that weird Hogan charisma, I guess.
It really is. Savage almost had him, though. 2 diving elbow drops.
Hogan kicked out of both.
Kicked out of both. Countered the third try, got Savage up on his shoulders, and then the theatrics, the you can't see me taunt, aimed at WWF's current champion, he called him, flips the bird, gets cheers. Loud cheers. It's classic Hogan, blurring those lines, pushing buttons. Then he hits a mocking FU on Savage. Then the people's leg drop. Aiming that one at the Rock of AEW, he said, gets the win. Just pure controversial Hogan.
Wow. Okay, Chris Jericho versus Samoa Joe followed that. Joe got the win by submission.
And Joe's promo after, man, So impactful. So the win was just a small preview for his match with Batista at European Uprising 3. Then he drops that line, hoping Batista's ready because Joe is going to kill him.
Oof. That's a statement.
Absolutely. Just building incredible heat for that match. Pure menace from Joe.
Which brings us to the main event for the WWA World title. The Ultimate Warrior versus Kane with Paul Bearer. Kane gets the win about 17, 18 minutes in. Started respectfully, though, didn't it? Handshake.
Yeah, surprising bit of respect. Warrior and Kane shake hands. Bearer holds the urn high, but that didn't last long. Hollywood Hogan comes out onto the stage, pretends to congratulate Kane, then bam! Starts mocking him. Says he's going to win his first world title in 23 years at European Uprising 3. Then he twists the knife.
What did he say?
Said Kane's title reign was just a dark shadow ripoff of his own brother's reign from 2023. Just brutal psychological stuff.
Wow. And then he challenged Blue Kane.
Yeah, dared Kane's blue counterpart to come out, said he'd give a Hollywood preview of what's coming. Just stirring the pot, trying to get in Kane's head.
So how did night one end?
Well, Kane cuts Hogan off on the mic. Paul Bearer adds that Hollywood Mania would only freeze before burning in hell. Ominous. But then, Brooke Hogan sneaks up behind Kane, low blow, decks Paul Bearer.
No way.
Wait, grabs the urn, hits Kane over the head with it. Hollywood Hogan slides in, hits a mocking tombstone piledriver on Kane. Just total disrespect, taking the mockery out of Kane. Gets massive boos from most of the fans. And that's how the show ended. The Hogans standing tall, pure villains.
Unbelievable cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, night two, wrestling's fiercest battles had a lot to live up to. Jim Ross and Glenn Barker on commentary. Kicked off with the WWA tag titles. Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs against Crush and Adam Bomb. Crush and Bomb retained, right?
Yep, Crush and Adam Bomb got the win, kept the titles, and the Ultimate Warrior also picked up a win against Tucker Knight. Solid start.
Then things got intense again. The European Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Kane with Paul Bearer. Ended in a no contest after almost 13 minutes.
Lesnar had that distinct look too, the 2012 red and black MMA gear. Yeah, set the tone. Kane came out violent, really unhinged, but Lesnar met him head on. Almost took him to Suplex City, used those amateur skills. Kane fought back, though. Power slam, sidewalk slam, diving clothesline. Got a near fall. It was back and forth.
But then came that moment. Lesnar counters the tombstone, just like he did to Taker at Mania 30. Hits the F5,
Yeah.
but he doesn't pin him. He just toys with him.
Exactly. Starts trash-talking him, brings up breaking his brother's streak at WrestleMania 30, grinning the sickly grin, just pure psychological bullying.
Trying to break him mentally.
Totally. But then, in this absolutely chilling moment, Kane just sits up, eyes blazing. Lesnar actually recoils, like genuinely shocked.
Wow.
Lesnar tries a clothesline, Kane sidesteps, hits that rare falling powerbomb, near fall again. Lesnar counters another try into an Alabama slam, crowd was stunned. Then Lesnar goes for a chair outside. Kane shoots a fireball. Lesnar ducks, but the ref takes it. Resh gets burnt. Match is thrown out.
Just chaos in the post-match.
Oh, yeah. Lesnar swings the chair. Kane boots it right back in his face. Kane grabs the chair. One shot, two more. Lesnar's head and face are busted wide open. Then a final choke slam in the middle of the ring. Kane hits his pyro. Done. And backstage, Hogan and Brooke, they looked really concerned watching that unfold. Like maybe Kane's violence is getting too real even for them.
That's another layer. Okay, there was another women's tag match too. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter beat Tam Nakano and Saki Kashima.
Yep, Katana and Kaden got the win. And what's interesting here, kind of poignant, is the note that this was the last time they'd teamed together in WWA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that win kind of marks an ending, but maybe a beginning for them as singles competitors. Could be setting up something down the line between them even.
Interesting dynamic to watch. Which leads us to the main event of night two. Hollywood Hogan versus Blue Kane. Hogan's plan was clear. Get in Kane's head, show him what was coming.
And Hogan started out just dripping with arrogance, mocking Blue Kane, not taking him seriously at all, like at all. But Blue Kane wasn't having it. Big pop from the crowd for him. He immediately clotheslines Hogan out, starts brawling around ringside, surprise attack.
Hogan turned it around, though.
Eventually, yeah. Hard Irish whip into the barricade, sends him back in, gives Blue Kane a bit of a beating, taunts the crowd. But that gave Blue Kane time. Hogan's taunting, Blue Kane recovers, hits his own version of the last ride, goes for the iceberg tombstone.
Hogan got out of it.
Yeah, Hogan countered, punches, chops, big boot, goes for the leg drop, but Blue Kane sits up. Hogan misses.
Crowd must have loved that.
Oh, yeah. Blue Kane hits a top rope diving clothesline, big sheer. He's showing real fight.
Yeah.
But then things get weird again. Mortis, from under the ring, sets up a barbed wire table, gets Blue Cane's attention.
Well, wait, Mortis again? What's his deal?
We don't know. Hogan sees this, goes after Blue Cane. Blue Cane moves, and Hogan boots Mortis off the apron right through the barbed wire table. Hogan's plan had totally backfired.
Oh my God. So Mortis is taken out by Hogan's own move.
Looks like it. Ref calls for help. Meanwhile, Hogan and Blue Cane just start brawling again. Then they hit each other with a double choke slam. Both men are down.
And Hogan does the mockery sit-up, laughing.
Of course he does. Just pure arrogance, even after all that chaos. But then Brooke Hogan comes out, holds up Blue Cane, sets him up for Hogan. Looks like the end.
Here we go again.
But wait, Jezebel from the crowd. Low blows Hogan. Huge pop.
Yes.
Brooke sees Jezebel. They start brawling. Into the crowd, into the back. Total mayhem.
So it's just Hogan and Blue Cane left. No.
Jezebel comes back, goes after Hogan again, but Brooke Hogan reappears, nails Jezebel with a lead pipe.
So the Hogans are back in control.
Looks that way. They start beating down both Blue Cane and Jezebel. It seems like they've won. But then, Kane's pyro. The roof blows off. Kane and Paul Bearer march out. Bearer's got both urns, the normal one and the blue one. He's coming to save his blue counterpart.
This is incredible.
Brooke tries to hit Kane. Jezebel stops her, grabs her by the throat. That allows Kane and Blue Cane to grab Hogan. And then simultaneously, Kane, Blue Cane, and Jezebel. All three chokeslam Hollywood Hogan and Brooke Hogan. Massive pop. Just unbelievable.
What a moment. The alliance nobody saw coming.
Exactly. The show ends with Kane, Blue Cane, and Jezebel posing. Paul Bearer holds up both urns. Red and blue pyro goes off. Then snow starts falling. They stand dominant over the fallen Hogans. What an image to end the weekend.
Oh, just wow. So what does this all mean? Where does this leave the WWA heading into European Uprising?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, this weekend wasn't just about great matches, though there were plenty. It was about weaving these really intricate, multi-layered stories. We got betrayal, shocking alliances, deep character work. It all clearly sets incredibly high stakes for European Uprising 3. Every segment felt like it mattered to that larger narrative.
Precisely. These preview shows did exactly what they needed to do. They built that anticipation masterfully, twisted the narrative, showed how WWA is shaping its future. You had those unexpected fan reactions to Hogan, the way interference completely changed outcomes. It wasn't just wins and losses, it was the how and the why that made it so compelling.
Absolutely. The storytelling was really front and center.
So thinking about all that chaos, especially with Kane, Hogan, Jezebel, Brooke, how do you think those shifting alliances are actually going to play out at European Uprising 3? And what about Mortis? What other forces or betrayals might still be lurking out there waiting to emerge? His motives are still totally unknown, right?
Leaves you wondering.